Hello again, friends. Hope you have had a good weekend. The weak OpenAI rushed to fill Anthropic's Pentagon seat, shipped 2 models in 4 days. Alibaba's 9B model embarrassed 120B rivals, and your phone learned to order dinner. The most consequential AI story of the week wasn't a model release. It was the fallout from Anthropic's refusal to grant unrestricted military access to Claude. The backstory: on February 27th, the Trump administration banned Anthropic from federal use, and the Pentagon designated the company a supply chain risk after Anthropic held firm on its red lines: no autonomous weapons, no domestic mass surveillance. The very next day, OpenAI announced it had signed a contract to deploy its models on the Pentagon's classified networks. The optics were brutal. By March 3rd, CEO Sam Altman admitted the deal looked opportunistic and sloppy, and announced amendments adding explicit language that OpenAI systems would not be used for domestic surveillance of U.S. persons. The Pentagon also confirmed intelligence agencies like the NSA would require a separate contract modification to access OpenAI's services. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei went further, calling OpenAI's public messaging around the deal straight-up lies. Internally, OpenAI staff weren't happy either. CNN reported that many employees really respect Anthropic for standing up to the Pentagon and are frustrated with their own company's handling of the situation. Meanwhile, over 100 Google DeepMind employees signed an internal letter to Chief Scientist Jeff Dean, opposing military applications of Gemini for surveillance or autonomous weapons. By March 5th, Anthropic was back at the negotiating table with the Pentagon in what the Financial Times described as a last-ditch effort to reach acceptable terms. The consumer response was unexpected. Anthropic surged to the top of Apple's App Store download charts, its refusal to comply becoming a trust signal that drove adoption. The episode crystallized a tension the industry can no longer avoid. As the Center for American Progress argued, the Pentagon's rapid pivot from one AI provider to another, with hastily written contracts and retroactive amendments, demonstrates the need for congressional oversight of military AI procurement. OpenAI had a prolific week. GPT-5.3 Instant landed on March 3rd, followed by GPT-5.4 on March 5th, 2 model releases in 4 days. GPT-5.3 Instant addresses: 2 persistent ChatGPT complaints, hallucination, reduced up to 26.8%, and the tendency to lecture before answering. It's positioned as a faster, more direct conversational model. GPT 5.4 is the bigger release. It unifies reasoning, coding, inheriting GPT 5.3 codex capabilities, and agentic workflows into a single frontier model. Key specs: up to 1 million token context window via the API, the largest OpenAI has offered. 33% fewer factual errors per claim compared to GPT 5.2, and improved handling of professional workflows involving documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. GPT 5.4. Thinking replaced GPT 5.2. Thinking for Plus Team and Pro subscribers. The rapid cadence, 2 models in 1 week, signals OpenAI is under competitive pressure. As Gizmodo noted, this comes at a moment when Anthropic's Claude and Google's Gemini have been gaining ground in enterprise adoption and developer mindshare. Alibaba's Qwen team had a landmark week. The Qwen 3.5 small model series, 4 variants at 0.8 billion, 2 billion, 4 billion, and 9 billion parameters, launched on March 1st to 2nd, and the benchmarks are turning heads. The headline result: Qwen 3.5 with 9 billion parameters outperforms OpenAI's GPT-OSS 120 billion, a model 13 times its size, on multiple benchmarks, including GPQA Diamond, HMMT, and MMMU Pro. On video understanding, Video MME, the 9B scored significantly ahead of Gemini 2.5 Flash Lite. The 2B model runs on any recent iPhone in airplane mode, processing both text and images. What makes this architecturally significant is the move to native multimodality. Starting from the 4B variant, Qwen 3.5 incorporates vision and language tokens within the same latent space from early training stages, not bolted on via adapters after the fact. The result is measurably better spatial reasoning, OCR accuracy, and visual-grounded responses. The underlying architecture combines gated delta networks with sparse mixture of experts, MOE, a hybrid that's proving efficient across scales. Google's March pixel drop brought something genuinely new. Gemini can now execute multi-step tasks on your behalf inside real apps. In Agentic mode, Gemini doesn't just answer questions, it takes actions. It can order food on DoorDash, book an Uber, place grocery orders on Kroger or Walmart, all by navigating the apps autonomously. The AI agent operates in a virtual environment, not accessing raw device data, and requires your explicit confirmation before any payment or commitment. This is the first mainstream deployment of an AI agent that interacts with third-party apps through their actual interfaces, not through pre-built API integrations. It's the difference between a chatbot that can call an API and an agent that can use an app the way you would. MWC 2026, March 2nd to 5th, was dominated by one theme: Agentic AI as the organizing principle for everything from network operations to device strategy. Highlights: NVIDIA announced a 6G coalition with major telecoms, BT, Deutsche Telekom, Ericsson, Nokia, SK, Telecom, T-Mobile, and others, committed to building AI-native network infrastructure, releasing an open-source 30 billion parameter telecom-specific model. Huawei introduced its Agentic BSS platform, where AI agents autonomously design and launch service packages. Samsung positioned the Galaxy S26 as a fundamentally agent-oriented device, rather than an app-oriented one. The shift from AI as feature to AI as architecture is real in the telecom space. Networks that used to require human operators for configuration changes are moving toward autonomous, agent-managed operations. The most anticipated release of the week didn't actually happen, but the shadow it cast was significant. DeepSeek V4 has been confirmed by multiple news outlets: Financial Times, Reuters, The Information. As a trillion-parameter MOE model with approximately 32 billion active parameters, native multimodal capabilities, 1 million token context, and optimization for Huawei Ascend chips, internal benchmarks reportedly show it outperforming Claude and ChatGPT on long context coding tasks. It will be released under an open-source license. Figma and OpenAI announced a deep integration connecting Figma's design platform with OpenAI Codex through the Model Context Protocol, MCP. The integration lets teams move bidirectionally between design and code, bring Figma designs into Codex for implementation, or turn running UI code back into editable Figma frames. This came a week after Figma struck a similar partnership with Anthropic for Claude Code integration. The use of MCP as the interoperability layer is notable. It's becoming the standard protocol for connecting AI coding assistants with external tools and data sources. That's it for this week, friends. We have just had daylight saving time adjustment, and so 1 hour was just lost, making it a little bit harder to keep up with highlights never stopping to surface. Until next week, and enjoy a beautiful week ahead. From Artificial Team, cheers!